back to Wegs Garage. We're working on our 1964 Triumph TR4. We've been working for the last few weeks trying to get these carbs tuned up and running, and it's kind of becoming obvious that they probably need a little bit of a rebuild. So let me show you some of the reasons why we came to that conclusion, and then we're going to get these babies taken off and on the bench. So Dad's over here working on getting these carbs off. So some of the things we were noticing, it just didn't seem like the normal tuning procedures were working for getting them dialed in. It just wasn't responding to the air and mixture adjustments we were making. Possibly the gasket inside here on the air valve is maybe not in the best condition, and that some of the other seals and things in there aren't too good as well. So we're going to be taking these off, and we'll go from there. So we got our carburetors out on the bench here. Now that they're off, you can kind of see a lot of dirt and stuff on the bottom here, dried up old oil. So that's not a good sign. This was leaking pretty badly around this bottom jet, so obviously there's some issues with the O-rings. So we're going to start tearing it down. We're going to do one carburetor at a time just so we don't mix up any parts. We've got these carb rebuild kits. It's got everything you need in there except for the needle, which we ordered separately to match our car. So here we go. There it is. Everything's torn down, ready to get cleaned up and put back together. The needle's a little bit tricky to get out. It was kind of stuck in there, but we were able to get that out. And everything looks like it's in pretty good shape. The rubber stuff obviously could be in better condition, so we'll be replacing all that. But first things first, we're going to get all these parts cleaned up. Alright, so we got everything cleaned up. If you want to see how we got everything so sparkling clean, I'll put a link in the description to the video of our DIY soda blasting setup, where we show you all about how to get this carb body cleaned up. So next steps here would be to just start reassembling everything. Here's all the parts that came with our carb kit. We got a new float bowl gasket, a new diaphragm, new float valve, carb gasket, some O-rings, and then the two of these aluminum crush washers that you need for reassembling everything. All right, we're back here, day 2. Step 1 on reassembling our carburetor is going to be getting the float assembly back in, as well as the float valve. So we'll be starting on that now. and jet assembly all buttoned up with new O-rings and everything. Now it's time to fit this new diaphragm to the air valve. So first step there is kind of aligning everything. If you look real close, there's a little tab there, and that lines up with this little sort of indent in that. So you lay that on top of here, and then you fit this metal washer on top of there and tighten that with screws. And then this whole assembly fits inside the body. And again, we've got a little locating tab that goes right in the slot there. So that's what we'll be doing next. So that's carburetor number one, freshened up with new gaskets and everything. We do have a couple of problems here. This screw was actually missing previously, and I ordered this new one from Moss, I think, and I don't know if there's different versions of this made through the years, but that is not the right size to fit in there. So we're going to have to find the right screw to put in there. And then the other problem we're dealing with is, I think we bought 2 new needles. This car needs a 2A needle, and we got 1 2A needle and 1 2H needle. It's pretty small writing, so pretty hard to see, but that 2H is not gonna work. But so we'll have to get those parts delivered, but that's one carburetor down, so now we're pretty much just going to repeat the process here on carburetor number 2. Dusty. That's going to do it for today. We got our one carburetor rebuilt. Unfortunately, because of some issues with parts, we weren't able to do both of them, but we'll be back at it again to finish that up next week. If you liked that video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next week.
I'm just a stand-in. The real guy's coming, kind of like movies where the guy gets trampled by a horse and then the actor 5 seconds later, yeah, I'm okay. You ready to do this?
All right, get out of here.